morning. It's day 2. I wasn't able to film yesterday afternoon because of the rain, but did a lot of work. Had to go to ground, but yesterday at about 3 p.m. stalked a doe, kind of figured out where her bedding area was, so I decided to do a big button hook and come back and sight one of the other tree lines, and I came up on this guy about 15 feet away from me. It's a 8-point buck. It's 160 to 200 pounds. I'm not really sure. I thought it was about 160 pounds, but even with 2 of us trying to haul him up, we couldn't. We had to use the truck, which makes sense. It's a lot of weight to haul straight up, even through a beaner, 2 beaners actually. Yeah, so plan today is I'm not hunting today. My tag is filled. I can't hunt again until Ranger comes back, because that's the law. He has to be here in order for me to hunt with that tag. I can't just go out and shoot and then call him up like, hey, I got your buck, and then come on down. So he has to be here, so there's no hunting today. Starting to warm up a bit, but I'm not gonna lie, I did something to my back last night because I had to haul that guy about 200 meters. But beautiful shot. I got him right in the heart. I dropped him on the spot. He had no idea what hit him. He just dropped and then he was done. Yeah, so I'm really glad I didn't have to go chase him. But while I was dragging him, I tweaked something in my back, so that's why I'm gonna take the day to kind of rest and recover. I'm gonna go into town now. I'm gonna get a big breakfast because I'm absolutely starving. Then I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna skin, take the head off. I'm gonna do a big bulk of the butchering. I'm gonna load it up in the car in the garbage bags, take it home, do all the fine butchering, and then get it into the freezer. Might as well use the day instead of just sitting here watching it all day. Just trying to keep coyotes away from it. So that's the plan for today. Maybe I'll get some footage. This battery's only about halfway there, so I might not be able to shoot footage until I get home. Yeah, so I got my buck day 1. That's good. Hopefully we can get a second one. Right, so I'm starting the butchering now. So all I'm doing is removing the head. Since we're not getting this mounted, all I'm doing is taking the deer right behind the head here. What I've done is I've gone all the way around right up to the spine, and then I'm going to use this saw to go through the actual spine, and then the head will be removed. Right, there we go. Little to no ease going through the spine. There it is. Now she's all taken off. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do my prep cuts for the skinning inside the legs, up the neck to the belly, straight up. Then I'm going to lower it down and do the prep cuts up there, and then I'm going to start the skinning. I'm not going to show too much of the skinning. Because I'm going to be busy. I'm going to have shit all over my hands. And then once that's majorly done, then I'm going to start the bulk butchering after that. Which all I'm going to be doing is taking the quarters, taking the big bolts of meat, the neck, belly, loins. I'm going to take some of the ribs. I'm going to take any meat that I can make a steak or turn into hamburger, essentially. So I should have a relatively clean carcass, only maybe the spine, the hoofs, and any spoiled meat from the shot. That's all. I won't be harvesting off this. Oh, I'm still recording. So first part of the prep work done. I'm really glad I left the hoofs on to do this part, because it gave me a little anchor. I could put it underneath my arm and work fairly easy. But this is the first time I skinned such a large animal, and I want to do a good job of it. So what I'm thinking is, like, once my left hand fatigues, I'm just going to take a break, take my time. It's cold enough, it's not going to spoil, so I'm just going to slowly work at this. Next, all I'm doing, I'm doing the neck up to the belly there, and that's it. And then I'll lower it down, do the tail, the arse, and the legs itself. I'm getting back in my skinning groove. It's actually not bad. once you get in the groove, you're actually moving a lot quicker. The first leg took me double the amount of time as the first leg, so I'm hoping as I progress through, I'm just gonna get in the rhythm, get back into my old skinning, because for 2 winters I actually helped a guy trap beavers mostly, but we got a lot of otters and raccoons and fishers, and I'm used to doing something small where you hold up the legs and you can put a lot of weight on it and just go like that and cover inches at a time. But this, it's a little bit slower. Maybe if I have it lower and I get all the prep work done, I can actually really start putting my body weight. It's, for the main body at least, it might be a lot quicker. I don't know. It's just I'm doing the tedious stuff now to get it out of the way, so I don't have a beautiful pelt dragging in the dirt. I want to do all the prep work first. Okay? Alright, about to take a break because my hands are starting to cramp up again. The hind took a lot longer than I thought. One thing that I'm going to do next time that I learned is I'm going to do the belly cut first before I do the legs, because I got a lot of hair on them. If you guys know a better way, sequencing maybe, or protectives to help keep the hair out of it, let me know please. So the hind took a long time, kind of messed up the tail a little bit. Nothing too crazy, I lost a little bit of fur, but you know, each his own. So now the bulk of the detail work is done, which is very time consuming. Now I should be able to go through really quick. Like this section that I just did right here took me all of 5 seconds to do. So it should we should be moving along quite faster now. I got a tarp just to help protect the meat from getting dirty. Try to keep it as clean as possible. I'm pretty sure a lot of this meat's gonna have to go into my bathtub to get rinsed off. And then I had to jerry rig this line here to the feet so I can slowly start pulling it forward. I don't want to drop it any lower than that, or I'm gonna have a pain in the ass around the torso and neck to get all this skin off. But the deer is the deer is too heavy for me alone to haul it myself, so whenever I go down, I'm very cautious how much I'm lowering it down. And if you don't know what this is a climbing bit called a gree-gree. So all you do is, it's usually primarily used as a belay when you go to a rock wall, but you can use it for climbing as a safety. So what happens is if a climber falls, like Mr. Buck over here, it locks and it doesn't move. And the only way to release it is to pull this up past 150 degrees, and then you can let it out and lower the climber. It's rated for 1,200 pounds, I believe. I believe this rope is only rated for 800, so this rope would break before this thing would. I got it on sale for 40 bucks. This is the rescue model, and I highly recommend buying that. And then what we had to do last night to get it up, because it was so heavy, is we tied this figure 8 to it, put the truck directly in line with this line, and then we pulled on it, and then the gree-gree did all the work. So as soon as the truck stopped tension, the deer stopped, and it didn't come back down at all. So I'm glad I brought that along. I thought it was going to be very beneficial to bring that, so I'm glad it actually worked out fairly well. A little fan dangling we had to do, but nothing too crazy. All right, I'm gonna take my break, get some water, because I'm still dehydrated from yesterday. Okay, see you soon, guys. All right, so I was moving quick because I thought the mass was going to be able to take it, but I made a mistake, so I want to share it with you. So you want to do this, you want to keep some of the fat on the actual carcass itself. Try to minimize the amount of fat that's actually on the skin, because when you flesh this out later, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But if you're just throwing away the pelt, that's all right. Maybe you want to keep some of that fat on there, which I don't recommend doing. Don't just throw it out. See if you can donate it to an indigenous community or something. So here's the mistake I did. So I did up here fairly well, and then I got too far down before I could catch it, but all that fat and meat is now on there, so I'm really kicking myself in the head now. But if I was just getting rid of this pelt, maybe I wouldn't be so upset about it, but there's still good meat on there. So I'm kind of kicking myself. Now I'm being a little bit more diligent. I'm not doing the pull and the thumb now. I'm actually doing it the knife the whole way through. can see here, I have a lot less fat than the other side. All the fat's up on this side. That's where I want it. Because when I freeze this, I'm gonna keep the fat on and I'm gonna trim it off after it dethaws, and I wanna eat it. Now, I'll never tell anyone that I am a butcher, but got the skin off. I'm working away now. Oh, just pulled the loin out. Now I'm gonna work on the hind quarter. This is the side where I shot it, so a lot of it I'll have to cut away. I'm basically bagging one side, all the cuts, and then each bag for a leg, so I know, just keep track of it. I might even be able to put the two forwards in one bag, I don't know. But the pelt, I was going so careful, started to rain, so I'm like, screw it, I'll do more work fleshing later. I need to get this thing butchered, so I just ripped it all off. It took me all of like 10 minutes to get the rest of that off from the last point. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep working on this, and yeah, getting kind of tired. I'm gonna take a break and a drink. Yeah, a drink would be good right now. Okay, all right, see you soon. So normally people would take this deer to the butcher, but I'm kind of just doing it for myself because, I don't know, I think knowing how to do this, obviously I'm not doing it very well as a butcher would, but having a skill, like being able to take meat off an animal, you know, cavemen didn't care what the cuts looked like. You know, cavemen cared about getting this huge backstrap off to feed the village or their family. That's what they cared about. Not how nice the cut was. Even if the cuts aren't too nice, you know, we can always turn it to hamburger. You know, there's always options. I wish deer fat was more edible, but it's not. I was watching the One Outsider and the Wooded Beardsman, and they were talking about rendering raccoon fat, which I don't know, I might give it a go. There's no shortage of dead raccoons on the road whenever I drive, that's for sure. They're everywhere. So maybe I'll try cooking some of this deer in some of that raccoon fat. I don't know, it might be good. Just wanted to give you an update. The whole other side of the deer is done. Doing on this side, and I'm glad I started with the shot side because I kind of mangled some of the back straps, which was alright because it was infected by the shot, which was okay. But this side's totally pristine, you know, not a lot of blood and good to go. So now I know how to get at those cuts, like how to take that whole back strap out, where the last one I was only able to get piece, and a piece. I was able to pull it all out so I can butcher it and make it a lot of steaks when I get home. Yeah, so I'll catch back up with you in a little bit. And we're almost done here. I'm very excited. So I've decided to leave some of the fat on to help prevent freezer burn. So what I'm going to do is, since this is a nice clean edge, I'm going to start cutting my steaks. Alright, so now that I have my steaks here, my little mini rounds, all I'm going to do now to help prevent freezer burn is wrap them in cellophane, wrap them up so it's really tight. And then I'm going to put a couple in each freezer bag, so then I don't have to take the whole freezer bag out to thaw it. I could just pull one of these cellophane little steaks out as I need them. So for example, I might be able to do 2 in that. Yeah, it's really important to keep a very sharp knife. So I'm going to wrap it. That's going to stop the air from penetrating this and causing it to freezer burn, because there's no dead space, there's no air to actually freezer burn that. So what I'll do is I'll cut a couple of these up. So I'll probably do this whole row here in the cellophane, and then I'll put them in a medium Ziploc, and then as I need them, I just pull. If I only need 2, or if I only need 1, if I'm cooking for myself, or I need 2, you just pull them out of the Ziploc bag themselves, and then there you go, you have your frozen meat, just like that. Once you get in the rhythm of things, it actually goes by quite quick. Alright, these two don't make a steak really. They're kind of mangled because they're at the end. So I'm going to double them up. Maybe. Double them up. Get all of that air out. All of that air. So with that done, all you do now is take your medium freezer bag. 1. You can pack them up as much as you want. We're going to go for 6. To get some of that air out. Just like that. Then label it. You know, back loin. That's it. Back loin venison, that's it. Just label it. You know, it's good to have a marker that actually works. Back loin ven. Back loin ven. There we go. Look at that. This is just one loin. Look at all those cutlets we got out of that. That's a very, very small part of the deer. Right there. That's it. Alright, so I got one of the back edges of the shoulder, or not the shoulder, of the hind, and the only reason I know that is because I pulled the rest of that loin just off it. So this here is actually not bad meat. So what I'm thinking about doing is cutting it into strips, where I could potentially make some jerky, or take the strips out, dice it up, and then I can use it in a stew. So I'm not going to go super close and not super far either. But this should be very, very good meat right here because it was on the back end. You can tell that by the way this neck's down. I don't know, have you guys made any venison jerky? If you have, drop some links or something. I'd really like to try it. If not, this will go into a stew. Not too picky. I actually took the time to take the fat off this because it looked like a good potential for jerky, so I actually took the time and took the fat off it. Then that loin we'll just do like we just did. Now this is a lot of stuff going on here. A lot of this is going to have to get trimmed away, like all of this. It's just mostly fat. Not a lot of meat in that. Okay, so does that fat go all the way through? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So let's trim. This is on the inside of the leg. You can tell that's where the guts were. Let's trim this back a bit. Let's see what we got going on. Oh yeah. There we go. Let's try and trim some of this fat off. Had really good weather for this. I'm able to keep most of the animal because I won't have enough time tonight to butcher the whole thing. So I'm going to leave half of it outside on my deck in a Rubbermaid because the temperature is just above freezing for tonight, which is going to be perfect. Alright, so I'm going to trim this up and I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Alright, so after I cut that up, realized I could have got a really good nice thin steak out of it. So all I did was cut that membrane all the way off. I got these two little bits, which will be really good. But I'm not quite sure, so I'm going to get a pot or a bowl. I'm going to put all these good cuts, and then if I can't find anything to do with them, either put them in a big stew plot. I'm just going to put them into hamburger. And then yeah, obviously these. And then this I'm actually going to leave on its own because it is very tender, and I think that'll do a very, very small roast. But I'll tear this little bit off and that'll go in the good pile. Like that. All I missed there was 2 flank steaks and a small roast. Nothing too crazy. Got another small pan steak, but I had to wet it down because there's a lot of hair and dirt and blood on it. So what you need to do is before you prepare it, you need to pat it dry. Oh, now. Did a little too aggressively there. There. Gotta pat it dry because if it's wet when you freeze it, it's just gonna compound the freezer burnt process. Some ribs. I'm only gonna do this in the cellophane, so I'll have to eat this somewhat quick or it's gonna get freezer burnt. Two more steaks. This I'm going to cut up for stewing stuff. I got one more I could probably get a steak off, and the rest of this half. This is only half of the offcuts, of all the little cuts, not the legs. And so far. So today I'm on an all-beef diet. Bread, butter, bacon, and beer. Stay tuned. So welcome back. It's day 2 of the butchering. Well, actually technically it's day 3 of the butchering. So what I did this morning is I did one of the hind ends. I did the other smaller cuts. I got quite a few steaks and roasts out of that, and I'm thinking about doing the first or the front 2 quarters with all hamburger. So I had to go all around town to get my little hand grinder, and the reason I got this one is because it clamps to a table. You don't have to bolt through. And to add the fat to the hamburger, I'm going to be mixing bacon and a little bit of butter. So that'll just give it that richness. And the reason why I was talking about the bread is because it's recommended when you buy these things to get a bunch of bread, run it through it to get all that excess grease out of it, because you don't want that grease in your meat. Yeah, so what you're going to be seeing here is me doing a bit of hamburgering. The last quarter, I'm really slow at this process, so I don't want to keep making these super long cuts, because I'm actually about 6 hours into this as a fine butchering. Just the fine butchering. That wasn't the quartering. That took me 4 hours. Or no, sorry, it took me 4 hours with the skinning. Yeah, so, and then hauling it out, that took about 3 hours, because it took Ranger about 40 minutes to leave. Gutting it didn't take me too long, maybe a half hour. Yeah, so what's that? Half? So 3.5. Oh my god, math. 7.5. And so I'm at 14.5 hours already. Oh no, double check my math. I'm not too sure. I'm kind of a dummy when it comes to math. So this is a Henley Pro number 5 meat grinder. Let's see what we got here. Alright. Oh, she's heavy. Heavier than I thought. Alright, all one unit. Handle. Oh wow, it's that's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. Alright. Well, that's what we got. Wish it was a bit higher. Well, whatever. We'll make it work. Get rid of all that plastic. Right. So, yep, I want it out. It's got a slip joint. I'm not sure if it's just such a rough fit that it doesn't fit. It's already starting to come loose at the bottom. Alright, let's run some bread through this thing. There's no instructions for this, it doesn't tell me what way to turn. Okay, yeah, so I gotta go this way. It's coming out better. I say that and then it stops. Alright, I gotta figure this out. There we go, I know the direction now. I was just using a stick to pop it down. It's actually, even with the bread, it's starting to come out. I don't know if you can see that. Alright. Alright, so, it's the front quarter. So what I'm going to be doing with this is I'm going to take as much fat off, cut all the meat off that I can, get all the hair off it, get all the dirt off it, and then cut out all of the meat, put it in this bowl, and then from there we'll start the grind. So I'm not going to make you sit through this because it's going to take me a very long time, but you get the principle. Cut the fat off, cut the meat off wherever you can, get it in the bowl, and then grind it. Pretty simple, right? Alright, about 45 minutes later. I think the longest time was just trying to get all the hairs out of it. You know, like, just look at this. Once you cut the membrane off, I was just ripping these little tenders out. It was amazing. Right, so now what I'm doing is I'm gonna get another bowl just like this. I'm gonna have a plate because it's so low to the ground, it's kind of dumb. And then as it's being ground, I'm gonna put the bacon and the venison through here to grind it up. And then once it's in the bowl, mix it thoroughly, and then individually make little balls, because I don't want a lot of air, because I don't have freezer bags or vacuum seals, so I want to get as much of that air out. So it's going to be like a patty, hamburger patty essentially, or a baseball, and then into the freezer. So I'm going to take a break because my hands are a little sore, and then I'll show you a couple clips of that and see how it goes. Yeah. There we go, we're getting started now. So the rule is 1 pound of pork fat for every 10. I'm guessing the venison that I have in the bowl here is about 5 pounds, and since this is bacon, it's also got meat in it. I'm thinking probably 2 of these would make it nice and rich. So let's see what we do with that. So 2 packs of bacon, which is about 1 pound each. There, I think I'm getting the hang of it now. Just as I say that, it's all going wrong. Oh, you hair. From this to this to this, focus, to that, about 1 pound. So I just ground that all up. So it's about almost dropped the screwdriver. About 10 pounds. 10 pounds of hamburger. That's actually really good. Maybe even more. I don't know. That's definitely 1 pound. That's definitely 1 pound, so we'll see how many of these bags I get. So cutting the meat off, I'm judging by the packing, takes longer than this process here. All I did is I saved a lot of the fat for the end. I kind of mixed it through somewhat, but all I'm doing is I'm taking it up from here to about 2 pounds, and if I don't like the color or there's not enough fat, I just pull it from here, put it in, mix it all up, and then make my little square patties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. And some of these are a bit bigger, some of them are a bit smaller, but that's probably close to 12 pounds of hamburger. I added 3 pounds of bacon, so that leg gave me 10 pounds of meat, which is pretty good. Yes.
I gotta touch you.
What are you?
I'm a dog.
What kind of dog?
Brown.
Are you a pug?
I'm in a pug.
You're a pug.
No, I'm a doggy.
Are you?
Yeah.
You say hi to everyone?
Hi.
Look here. Look in the camera. Right here. Say hi.
Hi. Bigger?
So it's coming out fairly well.
Look, Dad.
It's super rich because I added more butter, so it's gonna be very, very rich, and hopefully the meal is not gonna be too rich. I don't know. I'm talking to them.
Hi.
All right, you go play with your trains, bud.
Watch this, Dad.
Yeah, it's super rich with the bacon grease and the butter, but the flavors haven't all blended together. It's kind of bland right now. It's not salty. It's not got a little bit of heat, so I might have to do another dose of seasoning. But this is my first meal from that buck, so I'm really excited to see what it tastes like. So just a bit of an update. I didn't film it. The roast was a bit overcooked, so what I did is I cut it up into smaller cubes so my little man Dominic can eat it. And it was still lacking quite a bit of flavor, even though I added a second batch of spices. So what I added was the bouillon beef and mushroom, and now it's really tasty. So now all I'm doing is I'm going to turn this on low, just allow that meat to kind of reabsorb some of that moisture. But it's not tough. It was like, I don't think it'll be chewy. It was still fairly tender. So even though it was so overcooked. So yeah, now I'm just waiting for that meat to soak in all that heat. Just put a little bit of sauce in the spoon, blow on it so it's nice and cool.
Okay. It's nice and cool.
Okay, try put a little bit in your mouth. Well, don't spit in it. Like this, go like this. Take a little bit of the sauce. Just like that. Mmm.
A little bit sauce. So we do this.
Just, yeah.
What
What do you think?
It's good.
Yeah? What's it taste like?
Good. Is it tasty?
Mm-hmm.
Look, they're on the picture.
Yeah, the camera.
Yeah, the camera's eating food.
Mm-hmm.
And make a Dominic hungry. You take a little bit sauce, so we eat it.
Yeah. It is very, very good.
It looks healthy.
See if we can get a chunk of venison here. Oh, it smells so good.
It smells but good. Looks yum. You gotta get the biggest here.
It's really good. It's not chewy.
And looks carrots in there. Look at this biggest carrot.
It's not gamey at all, actually.
Yeah, wait.
It tastes just like beef.
Well, it's like beef.
Just like a stewed beef. Yeah. It's not too salty, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it smells good.
Mm-hmm. It tastes very good. It's got potatoes and carrots in it too. You like those, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it would.
Mmm, potatoes are perfect.
It looks perfect.
It does look perfect, and it's very tasty.
It looks probably
Mm-hmm.
perfect.
That could go well with this?
Yeah,
What?
we're eating.
What else would be really good with this?
Potatoes and carrots.
Well, yeah, it already has that, but what else?
And chicken.
That's not chicken. It's deer. It's venison.
It's deer and medicine.
Venison.
Medicine.
Venison.
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 Very good. Mmm.
Venison. Venison.
This piece is super tender.
It looks pretty.
think frying it in that bacon fat and butter at the beginning really helped a lot.
It looks.
No,
at that
what
face.
I was saying, little man,
Yeah.
is that too big for you?
Yeah.
You can do it. Just take a bite out of it. Just a little bite.
You cut it.
Oh, you can do it.
Okay.
No, scoop it up, and then just take a bite of it. There you go. There's a piece. Put it in your mouth.
I got a small one.
Yeah. There you go. Is it hot?
Uh-huh.
Be careful. What's it taste like?
Ooh.
You like deer meat? It's your first time ever having it.
Uh-huh.
You like it? Good. We'll have more of it. No, what I was saying earlier, buddy, is we should have cornbread with this, but I don't have any.
Oh. We could buy it later.
No.
Oh, there's a box.
It's a fly. Yeah, don't worry about it. No, you don't buy cornbread. You make it at home. So, thumbs up. It's good. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Wave goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Hit a like if you thought it was somewhat interesting or you learned something. I don't know. If there's something that you like it. Something you dislike it. And if you subscribe, I appreciate it. And come back and watch the videos, because my next adventure is going to be sailing from Guadeloupe to Bahamas, which is going to be a lot of fun, I think. Alright, talk to you soon.